Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show, episode 289. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212. And I'm with Brian. What's up, Brian?
Hi.
What's up, Chris?
It is the Steampunk Star Rays at amberstreet.com.
What is up, Daniel?
Hello.
What's up, John?
Not much. Hey, everybody.
What's up, Mike D?
I hear you can get the best hookers on Amber Street. I'm doing well.
That's actually not true. That's not
All
true.
right.
Don't be hating on clones, by the way.
I love.
I think we were going to have a conversation about clones, right? So I think John and Chris had a thing going on here with clones.
Well, I think cloning should be a reproductive human right. And I think that anybody should be able to clone themselves as long as they can afford it and have the means to support it, you know. And, you know, I think it'd be cool to have, like, you know, I would raise my clone, train it to be me, learn from my mistakes, and then it would be like Chris 2.0, and then that clone can train a Chris 3.0. And then, like, 10 years, 100 years from now, you can have, like, or actually it'd be more like 200 years from now, you can have, like, a Chris 10.0. And it would still be me, but it would be a different incarnation.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be exactly. It wouldn't be you. You'd be dead.
Wouldn't be exactly me, but it would be based on me.
Yeah, it'd be based on you.
Well,
Probably
that's not
very
you.
hopefully. But
You're always. You think about it, you're always a different person in every small second in your life. Did you know that your body replaces every cell in its body every 7 years? So
yeah, I know. Chopra told me that.
Who you were 7 years ago is dead. Who you were 7 years ago is dead. Who are you but the simple continuation of what was before?
Oh, no.
And that would be the same thing with clones. Who would those clones be but the simple continuation of me?
Why did you guys want to continue this discussion? I
Well,
don't.
I'm hurting your brain.
The thing about the clone thing, I really was interested in hearing because it sounded like you had a.
Oh, I had a point.
Well, no, I mean,
No, I didn't have a
yes, but I mean, it also sounded like you had a very succinct, tangible sort of reason to be anti-clone, and I wanted to hear you and Chris spar off about that. I was curious,
Well,
because I still haven't fucking heard it.
Well, no. I'll respond directly to Chris. I think all of what he says is good. I mean, if his vision of a clone in a future world seems, you know, we're very close to that. We're getting close to that with in vitro fertilization and you know, reproductive rights. I mean, we're not to the point where we can clone people, but we're getting to the point where we can take an egg and fertilize it outside of a body into someone else's body, and we're getting very kind of technologically advanced in that sense.
We have the capability and the technology to clone. It's just that it's outlawed in most countries.
And yeah, and cloning humans is another big step.
That's a good idea for a Kickstarter. I might do it just as a joke to see how much people would fund it. I need $1 billion Kickstarter for a base in Antarctica so I can build a cloning facility. Because if you can clone Dolly the sheep, you can clone me.
Yeah, but I mean,
So
you know,
you have a brain of a sheep? Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm just saying that the first thing that they cloned was Dolly the sheep, the first mammal.
No, I think he's saying if they can successfully clone a sheep, then they definitely can successfully clone an ass. Is what he's trying to say.
Right.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Chris knows I'm fucking around.
Yeah.
open your mind and your ass will follow.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So
everybody has just like assholes.
Well, but see, opinions without proper foundation are lay opinions. They're not actually tangible opinions. They're lay opinions. So
well, I've researched
all opinions aren't created equal, actually. So I always love it when people say that, like that's a great like equivocator, like it equalizes things. Like you know, and you're of like mind with me when it comes to like evidence-based logic and things like that, where it's kind of like, you know, just because somebody's got an opinion, who gives a shit about that? I want to know what the facts are, and the facts stand on their own, independent of opinion.
Yeah.
So this is the Everything Show number.
National Geographic this month had an excellent article about the war on science, you know, how like certain states like Kentucky are teaching evolution in schools and have barred any kind of critical thinking or logical thought or reason.
So,
Yeah.
whose dog is that?
Is there somebody being murdered behind you?
Well, this place welcomes the people who hang out here can bring their dogs, and so
I see.
sometimes there's dogs.
Okay.
I purposely rearranged the table to a corner where I wouldn't be filming anybody because I don't want to offend anybody.
So like Chris, you really would love to clone yourself like tons of times.
I am dead serious. I'm dead serious about that. I would love to clone myself. They need to legalize cloning in the United States. Cloning is a reproductive right. Not all of us can hook up with the right woman. You know, you should be able to, if you could afford it. I mean, right now I wouldn't be able to afford it. But
Yeah, well, how would you be able to feed your clone?
Well, I said right now I wouldn't be able to afford it, but in the future, if I had a more stable income and I could afford it, yeah, I wouldn't mind cloning myself.
But you would treat your clone like a pet or like a child?
Like a child, I think.
No, it would be my child. And legally, it would still be a human life. It'd be my clone child, and I would raise it.
Chris is talking about like cloning Angelina Jolie to have as a sex slave, basically. Let's be honest, right? When we talk about cloning, that's what you're talking about.
No. This is entirely logic-based.
Well, hey, that sounds logical to me.
Yeah, I think the clone would be very steampunk. Yeah.
Would you alter your DNA?
I would trade the clone.
And
Clone Gene Roddenberry.
Would you alter your DNA and clone a female version of you?
No.
Okay.
Why not? It would be
right now, anyway, with cloning technology, they can't manipulate my DNA to make a female version of me. The cloning, you would just be straight duplication. That's all they can do right now. They can modify certain things. They're in the early stages of genetic engineering. That's too early. I mean, it would be. There's a dentist. I don't know if you heard about this. This was a few years ago. There was a dentist who bought one of John Lennon's teeth.
I heard about
because
that.
he wants to harvest John Lennon's DNA and clone John Lennon, and he wants to have a John Lennon clone as a
that
son.
wouldn't matter because the clone would see if it had memories as like a TV show. It wouldn't be John Lennon.
Well, I mean, it would have the DNA of John Lennon.
But it wouldn't even matter because it wouldn't be John Lennon. It would be like
it would be John Lennon's clone. But the logic of saying
it would look like wait. It would look like John Lennon. It would talk like John Lennon, but it would not be able to sing like John Lennon. It would not be able to compose and write a song.
Yeah. They wouldn't have
I disagree.
Experience.
Why?
There's
growing up.
There's evidence. I disagree, and I'll tell you why. Because there's evidence that talent is genetically based.
Where did you get that idea from?
There's actual evidence. There's actual physical evidence. Like
where is the physical evidence that talent is genetic? Are you talking about an actor that has an actor and actress get married, they have a kid, and they're an actor?
Musical families, artists in families, like.
How about a singer that marries a singer and their kid is a singer? It's because the parents put them through lessons.
Well, I mean, there's a combination of factors. There's a combination of factors. It's not just one factor.
Well, if I may say something real quick, I mean, Will Smith and his wife are both actors, and they have a kid that can't act worth shit. So that dispels that.
But they have a daughter that can
I
whip my hair back and forth. I whip. Come on.
It's not a guaranteed thing. It's not a guaranteed thing. I mean, it could be a recessive gene, but I mean, it's if you look at lineages in genealogical record, you see that music tends to run in families. Like if somebody was working in an orchestra, then a lot of times it runs in families. There's artists run in families. Like my grandfather.
Michael Jackson's brothers. Okay, could not become famous right now if they clone Michael Jackson 10 times. Okay, Michael Jackson was famous, and they're not even anywhere near that, and they all have.
Well, with Michael Jackson, what I would do is I would dig him up and I would mount him to animatronics, make sure that he's chemically preserved, and make him an animatronic zombie and direct Thriller 2. Here's
the error of your ways. Okay, because you tend to go off on different tangents, but not stay on topic on the subject that you created when it came to cloning. Okay, we're not talking about chips. We're not talking. The topic.
I just say it's not a guaranteed. Okay, it's not a guaranteed thing. It's partly genetics, partly environment, partly the way you're raised. So it's about 33% genetics, 33%.
Hey, hold on. Let me say something. I've been listening to you guys talk. Let me get an interject here. So, what part of it is just inspiration, Chris?
Yeah.
Inspiration?
Yeah.
Yes, life experiences that make you.
Well, I just said that it was 33% genetics, 33% the way you were raised, and 33% in your environment. That inspiration.
Card?
So you're saying it's 1% inspiration?
I have a semi-photographic memory. Cue cards are in my head.
You're saying it's 1% inspiration? If you do the math, 33, 33, 33, that's 99. So 1% would be.
Well, 33.33. Okay, if you want to go down to the decimal point,
well, see, that explains a lot about you to me, if you truly think that, because I think inspiration accounts for a lot more than 1%.
Yeah,
well, no, inspiration.
It's very telling.
Well, no. Inspiration included with the experience, which is 33%. You got to realize that environment is experience. 33% environment.
No, but inspiration.
The environment is experience.
Inspiration.
There's actually studies.
I wish you'd shut the fuck up when you're trying to talk.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Inspiration can either be positive or negative, and depending on what events, life events, you can be inspired through a negative, just like you can be inspired through a positive. So it's I think that accounts more in the overall mathematics of where inspiration fits within talent.
Well, it's about 33%, but that would be.
Where do you get your math? Where do you get your math? Where do you get your numbers?
Are you reading from a cue card? Are you reading from a book that you didn't do it yourself? The studies. Where are you getting this from?
Cite your sources, Chris. I'd like to know that.
Oh, well, there's many different sources, like University of West Florida.
Did you go there?
Yeah, I did.
So the University of West Florida stated that was those numbers.
Well, I mean, there's multiple sources. I mean, you're.
Well, I keep hearing multiple sources. I hear a lot. I mean, let's hear one. We can't get one from you. Where? Let's cite one for us. Because I'm curious.
Well,
they do exist.
The Dragons of Eden, Carl Sagan. A lot of people forget that Carl Sagan had a degree in biology.
We're not talking about. I don't give a rat's ass about Carl Sagan.
Hold on a minute. This is my forte here. That's called the argument from authority. Just because Carl Sagan has it in a book doesn't mean that it's true.
Well, and I say it too. Based on studies shown that it's, like I said, it's 33% genetics, 33%.
So that's an allegation. That's an allegation.
Hold on. Hey, you gotta let me finish the thought, man.
But you're repeating yourself. You're saying the same shit 6 times. We got it, Chris. We hear you, buddy. We got you, buddy.
You're trying to throw in inspiration and saying that it's only 1%. I'm saying no, it's part of that environment. The inspiration would be the environment that you're in. And it's also partly who raises you. I said it's also partly your upbringing. So, I mean, you keep asking me questions.
If the clone is raised by someone that's not, if the clone is not raised from clones of John Lennon's parents, then the clone's going to be completely different than John Lennon. It actually is.
Well, yeah, like if you take a clone, for example, and have like let's say you make 2 clones. Let's say like Daddy Warbucks raises one of them. Let's say that like somebody who's in a lower class economically raises another. You're probably going to end up with 2 different sorts of clone. that are because of two different experiences. So I understand that.
There's actually studies that you're right about that. I'm not going to dispute that. I mean, they've done. Why do you think they do so many twin studies? And they do studies on triplets, particularly twins that have been adopted.
The twins are individual.
This is another source. This is another source, but there was twins. One was adopted in Germany, and one was adopted in the United States.
They both married. They both married women that were named Eleanor. They both got into engineering. Yeah, I know that. We've heard this.
The thing was a lot of the aspects of their personalities, despite the fact of different environments, and despite the fact of how they were raised. I mean, yeah, one spoke fluent German, one didn't speak fluent German. But if you break down their personality, like their interests and what they liked, even though they didn't know each other for years and they were raised in different continents, there was many elements of their personality. I would say most of the elements of their personality that were the same, that could be tied to genetics. Dead ringer right there. I mean, they've done twin studies. That's basically what twins are. They're clones.
But when I'm talking, no, they're not. Twins are not clones.
Well, they basically, it's the same thing as a clone, because you basically have, if they're identical twins, they started off as one egg, and the egg, for some reason, split into two eggs, and then became two different individuals. And that's what you do.
Yeah, exactly. Two different individuals. Different.
Yeah, but they're still the same thing. It's still the same thing as a clone.
It's okay.
It's the same thing. Same thing, man.
Man, dude, if you clone John Lennon, your clone of John Lennon would not sing. Wouldn't even write a song. Because why the F do I have to do this?
I would argue that the John Lennon clone...
Your clone of John Lennon would become steampunk John Lennon. Because you're steampunk.
Well, I don't want a John Lennon clone. But yeah, you're probably right about that. But
your clone of yourself might think that steampunk is ridiculous and would not want to be steampunk.
Maybe I doubt it though. Because the reason why I say that is because twin studies have shown that a lot of personality interests are tied to genetics. And you'd be amazed at how similar people are, even though they're raised in different cultures and raised on different continents. There's still a lot of things about their personality that were the same. Like, I'd say most things. And the John Lennon clone would grow up knowing that he was a clone, and he would probably research John Lennon and maybe even be inspired by him. There's a lot of
I don't believe that in 1 minute. That all it is, it looks the same, it sounds the same, it is not the same. Okay.
Well, people who fear cloning, they fear.
I'm not afraid of cloning. I'm saying.
You're not afraid of cloning.
No, not at all. So your hypothesis is wrong. But
okay, fair enough.
Again.
What about the contingent out there that get into like the playing God, the God complex sort of thing with this scenario, and the whole thing about, well, we can't have clones because clones don't have souls, you know? Like that would be their argument.
I'm not a religious person. I'm an atheist, so
yeah. Well, but I'm saying, how do you address that? Because there are people, potentially listening that may.
Oh well, there is no proof that souls exist, so I think that's not a valid argument. I mean, that's all I have to say about that. I mean, it's just
it's getting way too into.
Yeah, we're not talking about. I really don't want to talk about religion. I want to talk about.
Yeah, but when you talk about cloning, that's one of the big topics.
No, but my whole point was to prove it is true. But my whole point is to prove to him that the clone they've done. Okay, you're talking about doing studies,
but
correct? You're talking about studies, right? You could clone your dog for $15,000.
Actually, it's more like 100. And it's actually pretty funny. This is why I say that it's possible to clone humans, because they're cloning pets already now in California.
I know that.
There's a company
called
Savings and Clone. Savings and Clone. It's so hilarious.
Okay, but wait a minute. Let me get to my point.
That is
this lady cloned her dog. Okay, because her dog died, and the dog was completely different, personality-wise, than the actual dog that she had. It looks the same. I mean, no.
I would tell you
that's the only possibility.
I would tell you that it's entirely possible, but I would say that there was also probably a lot of... With dogs, they're not as intelligent as humans, so there's not as many different personality traits to discern when compared to a human. What I was saying is the best analogy of clones, of what they would be like raised by different people, is to compare twin studies and triplet studies, which they have done. And I would say it'll be scary how similar the people were, even though they were raised by different parents on different continents. They still had a lot of the same.
You want to know why that's baloney?
They're still mostly the same.
You want to know why that's baloney? I'll tell you why that's baloney. Okay.
But it's not. But it's not.
But it is. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Chris, you gotta let. Chris, you gotta let.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I'll tell you why. Okay.
Why is it baloney?
All right. Well, let me finish, please.
Okay.
I like Friday the 13th, right? Mike T likes Friday the 13th. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean we're clones of each other. We like similar interests. That doesn't mean we're clones of each other. We're completely different with certain aspects. We're not exact copies of each other. Okay?
Yeah, exactly.
So you're not going to have any clone that's going to be exactly the same as the original
I never
template.
said that. But I never said that.
But you're not even going to have anything that's even close to what it is. All it is...
Yes, you would.
No, you wouldn't. You would never have that.
Scientific consensus, I would say, is different on that.
Scientific consensus is a load of shit, because that's not true at all.
Not going to be 100% the same. Nothing's 100% the same. You're not the same person from 1 second to the next. Your neurons start rewiring.
There's a million people like you that have that belief, and that is why cloning is banned, because that means that they can't clone. They won't clone Hitler, basically.
Well,
because a lot of people like you believe that you can have an exact copy.
I didn't say that. But you're putting words in my mouth. I never said exact.
Not exact. 99.999.
Similar.
98.
No,
or 97 or 96 or 80%. It's not going to happen.
Well, I want to address something Chris said. You said that we're ever changing, like every second, hypothetically. I know what I'm saying. Well, let me finish what I'm saying, Chris. Okay, you gotta let people get their full thought out. And
go ahead.
I'll give you a hint. The time to interject is when no one's talking. That means there's a pause in the conversation. So anyone can jump in at that point. But what I was saying about what you said earlier, it's something to think about, is that if we're ever changing, I think, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, but I think Joe's trying to make the point that individuality comes into it. And even though we are changing, we're still basing and processing our thoughts based on who we are, based on our life experiences, which are individual, not something that can be cloned. Like, my clone might be aware, hold on a minute, my clone might be aware that I got into a car accident years ago and got like in intensive care and it was traumatic and all that kind of stuff, but I actually can have the actual feeling and experience that because I'm the one that experienced that and lived that. That clone didn't. The clone might have like an awareness of that happening, but that clone didn't actually live through that experience. We're still individuals.
Well, I never disputed that. That was never
another dispute. You say every 7 years it's a new you. The old you is dead.
Your body replaces every cell.
Right. Okay. So basically, in 7 years, you won't like steampunk.
Well, no. You have what's called your brain has fiber structure, which preserves the arrangement of neurons.
You said 7 years you're dead and
I just said that you replace every cell in your body every 7 years. That's true.
Okay, but you're not a different you. You're not dead.
Yeah, I'm different.
It's like a fingernail.
But I'm different than I was 7 years ago.
How?
Me from 7 years in a lot of different ways. 7 years ago, I was in steampunk.
Okay, what were you?
There's many different variables. There's several different variables that come down into it. Like I said, it's 33% genetics.
Well,
33% upbringing, and 33% your environment.
If I may interject, I mean, I've been doing some research here, and this idea that we replace our cells every 7 to 10 years is been pretty much debunked. First of all, neurons in the cerebral cortex, they're never replaced. Fat cells are replaced at the rate of about 10% a year in adults. So humans replace all their fat cells about every 10 years. And the cardiomyocyte heart cells are replaced at a reducing rate. So I think that what you're saying here seems to not jive with actual science.
Yeah, yes. But no, the science that I have read is that your neurons do, like when you take antidepressants, your neurons do replicate. Your average cells go through 50 divisions before you die.
Okay.
And like your liver regenerates, like you can, and your heart tissue can even regenerate. There was a girl that was hooked to a heart machine. I mean, they haven't fully worked out the science on it, but I mean, I know like every 4 years you replace every atom in your body. I mean, there's a fiber structure that preserves your structure and provides continuance of who you are. Because your body, the main thing is your body is like 80% water, 80 to 90% water, and you're constantly replacing 80 to 90% of your atoms. So it
seems to me like you're reading a lot of books or science fiction, and you're trying to mix it into one big pan, trying to make cookies, and you're getting pancakes. That's basically what I think you're doing.
I'm not sure what that analogy means.
Because you're trying to say a lot of this stuff is true. It's getting debunked, but you have no basis to prove it. You're reading magazines. Listen, we have stuff all the time where we have stories that we don't even do because we don't believe it. We have a thing called an open mind where we research things to see if it's bullshit or if it's not bullshit. You know, like.
Well, John, where are you getting your information that it's debunked?
From the internet, of course. The research.
Well, I mean, what website though?
All true.
Specifically.
Infowars.
Hey, yeah, Infowars.com. Yeah.
No, what website? What website specifically?
Actually, it's like askanaturalist.com. That's what I was looking at.
Okay, well, I like to go with multiple sources, but
my psychic says you're wrong, Chris.
Well,
okay.
no,
well, I mean,
I think it's up for debate. I mean, I think Chris is partially right, and or maybe totally right. I don't know.
Your skin cells get entirely replaced. Your hair cells get entirely replaced. Your liver cells, your heart. There was a girl hooked up to a heart machine, and her heart didn't beat very well for 6 months, and the heart machine took over. But then her heart tissue actually regenerated. So even heart cells will regenerate. And there's been studies that show that when you take, I think it was at Psychology Today magazine, I was reading an article about that. When you take antidepressants, it causes your neurons to regenerate. They actually.
And also,
are you in the medical field, Chris?
We obviously grow.
I don't have a medical. I don't have to be. So, I don't have to have a medical field to have knowledge. Okay. I mean, yeah.
But is the knowledge correct? It's one thing to have knowledge.
Yeah. Yes.
But if knowledge is not correct, then it's just a wasted.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not wasted. I'm open-minded. I mean, I'm not a scientific expert.
Common logic dictates that your fingernail grows, you cut it off, it grows back. Well, that doesn't mean I'm Wolverine.
Never said that.
Like a piece of your skin falls off, you cut yourself, your body does heal. That's like common sense.
Yeah, but like there's also been traumatic.
I'm not a zombie.
Well, let me give you an example. There's also been several news stories with traumatic brain injuries. Your brain neurons do have the capability to rewire themselves after losing significant portions of brain tissue.
Okay,
and your neurons will, for the most part, they don't, like your brain stops growing at age 21. But after age 21, if you have like a traumatic brain injury, your brain will regenerate some of the neurons and rewire it.
But what does that have to do with cloning?
Well, you were asking me specifically about, I talked about
because that was the whole topic. That was the whole topic. I was
saying, the reason why we got on this tangent is I said that you are a different person at every moment in time. Who I was 7 years ago is different than I am today. I'm similar to
life experiences. Different things happen in your life that shape you to go to one direction or the next direction. Not that your cells replicate every 7 years. You're constantly, cells are dying and being recreated. That doesn't mean shit. Something could happen tomorrow where you go through a hurricane and you go through some hard times, and then you have to make a decision to get a job to feed your family or whatever, and you're completely different. It has nothing to do with science. It has to do with living life. Okay,
there's a science.
You could get picked up as the #1 YouTuber with having interviews with cosplay girls, and you could become a millionaire, and it has nothing to do with your cells replicating it. It's because you put the time and effort and hard work and dedication.
But if your cells didn't replicate, then you would die.
But everybody's cells replicate. What's the point?
Well, you were asking me why I made the statement that you were a different person at every given point in time. I was like, your body replaces all the tasks.
You're always going to be a different person. Because when you're a baby, you're shitting in a diaper.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get older, you're shitting in the toilet. So, like, you're constantly different. Like, different things happen. Yeah. You learn, you go to school, you learn some things, okay?
Apparently.
You go into job world, you could go into retail, you can go into this, you can go into that. You're constantly changing. That doesn't mean shit when it comes to, like, the cells replicating. It's called making decisions.
Well, it's all tied in. It's all tied in together.
It has nothing to do with science, though.
Science is just a study of. Science can be incorporated into cosmetology.
Science is a cop-out. First, you're basically having a cop-out. You're having a cop-out with explaining certain things. Yeah. It's called taking responsibility.
What do you mean?
Meaning, like you're saying, you're making this whole theory that in 7 years you're a completely different person because of science, because your cells are replicating.
You are. Your experience.
But it's not because of your cells. It's because you're going through different things in your life.
You apparently didn't hear what I said earlier.
I did hear what you said.
I said it was 33% genetics, it was 33% your upbringing, and 33% your environment.
And what's the 1%?
There is no 1%.
Okay.
Well, then
you want to break it down to decimal. If you want to dot I's and cross T's, like I said earlier, it's 33.333, whatever for infinity. But there's infinity everywhere in math. But we
do know the numbers go on forever. Yes, the universe is expanding.
Yeah, but I never said that it was entirely due to your genetics, but I say that genetics play a significant role. They do. I mean, there's studies to prove that where, like, the German woman versus the American woman, who were twins raised by different parents, they still had mostly the same interests. And that can only be explained not by upbringing. It can't be explained by environment. It can only be explained by their DNA. Why do you think people breed like fighting dogs? Because there's certain genetic personality traits bred into fighting dogs.
No, it's because no. Okay, now. Thank you for falling into the trap on that one. Because I was yes, you did. Because I was in the pet industry for a while. Okay.
Okay.
So your philosophy is like with pit bulls. Let's say with pit bulls, you're saying you gotta go. You gotta go.
I'm not. It's because this place is closing. It's 10 o'clock. It's not because I'm losing pay. You're right. I'm wrong. I gotta go. It's because I'm getting kicked out of here. Peace out.
Okay. See you. Peace out.
No hard feelings. Peace out.
Well, step outside and come on.
Well, it'll be noisy because it'll be on my cell phone because I don't have internet once I leave here. It'll be noisy like last time.
No problem.
I'll try. I can try. Maybe I can mute myself and then just listen.
Okay. Yeah.
And that way you can give your counter rebuttal, and I can just listen.
It's just the concept about you're talking about fighting dogs, where it's in their genetics to basically.
Well, I can't talk anymore because I'm getting kicked out of here. But anyway, my battery is fully charged. I will try to go to Vaughn's. The Vaughn's has Wi-Fi, but they They closed the dining room.
Okay, good. Don't mention names, but okay.
I'll try to get back on.
Yes,
I can't
yes,
promise.
yes.
I'll
Okay,
try.
that's
all
fine.
right.
All right.
Bye.
See ya.
Fine.
Bye, Chris.
He brings up an interesting concept, which basically, being in the pet industry and learning all different breeds of dogs, okay? Basically, I'm going to explain this, okay? What he's talking about is that it's the genetics that make the dogs vicious to be attack dogs. That's full of shit. It's the people who raise the dogs to be violent, okay? You have pit bulls, right, who are the nicest, gentlest dogs out there, okay? But if you have some assholes raising pit bulls, of course they're going to be like fucking monsters, okay? You have people that raise tigers that they show in videos where tigers are like chilling in the guy's living room being like cats. You have lions kissing and hugging a human being because they were raised that way, okay? Just that the whole thing with the genetic shit and is such a load of crap. You know, he's not going to tell me that nonsense, that everything's genetics. Yes, there'll be some things in genetics where, you know, evolution, like an animal will be afraid of something or whatever that we passed on through genetics. That's been like a scientific thing, but his argument's invalid. Anybody want to?
Well, I was going to say, as far as someone who's known Chris for quite a number of years, I would tell you that Chris is quite the fan of coming up with differing reasons why he's kind of in his current predicament with things. And, you know, it's all got to do with these outside influences and everything else. It's got nothing to do with personal responsibility. So that's kind of inherent in his personality.
See, he would be a good lawyer because he'd be the one that draws up that document that's 157 pages of basically nothingness that whoever sits through reading that 157 pages, you know, and understands it. Okay, he's talking about clones, then he's talking about genetics, then it's like sidetracking and deflecting and everything, and then before you know it, you lose topic of what the hell you're talking about because you're trying to explain the cloning thing, but then he already forgot that already. He's going on to Michael Jackson should be an animatronic chimpanzee, basically, and then zombies. So. Yeah, I got a headache with this guest, and this one was not fun. All right.
Well, it was entertaining.
I'm sure it was very entertaining. But it's like, what are we talking about? What the fuck are we talking about?
That's what I've been asking.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is like, it's like talking about nothing. Like fucking shit.
You got Fernburn, Joe.
I did get Fernburn. He won. I got Fernburn.
Because see, like at the end of the day, even though you're right, you want to kill yourself.
It's like an hour of my life I just can't get back. No. It's crazy, man. I don't know.
And it's a wonder why Chris isn't the chick magnet, you know?
Come on, he's not in here to defend.
No, he says that himself. He says he's got an anti-charisma, does he not, John? Isn't that what he said to us? He said that.
Hey, you know, I don't. He's not in here, so who knows?
No, but I'm saying he said that.
He's a guest, but you're
he would
right.
be the person to tell you that.
Yeah.
I'm only saying that because he said that to me.
It's genetics.
About himself,
Mike. It's predestined. He can't be anything else. It's genetics. You know, 33.333.
So
his kid and his kid's kid and his kid's kid will be all steampunk.
The one point you should have made is if we clone John Lennon, according to his logic, since everything's due to outside influence and all this other stuff, then John Lennon's clone would be shot by, an assassin as well, just like John Lennon was, because he's a clone, right?
Makes perfect sense, Mike.
Because it's outside influence. So, I mean, like John Lennon's clone would be eventually shot at whatever age John Lennon died.
And the environment would have to also, take that into account to be the same exact weather patterns and wind patterns for when the shot is made to hit at the same degrees, basically. So the weather's going to have to clone itself.
Well, basically. And the guy that shot Lennon's clone could have been a clone of Mark David Chapman, right? And he would do the same thing because he's a clone. He's incapable of individual thought and saying, hey, maybe I shouldn't shoot somebody else. you know, or shoot John Lennon's clone like my other clone, like my originator clone did. So maybe, you know, I'm just compelled to have to go shoot John Lennon's clone like my originator shot John Lennon, right?
And he's
Yeah.
a zombie.
Little outside influence. Yeah.
Yeah, like Jason.
Because every 7 years it's a completely different person.
Yeah.
So now in 7 years he'll be Tootsie, basically.
Well, the thing is with him,
it works with Bruce Jenner. 1 minute he's an Olympic gold medalist. What is he? All these different things, tennis, whatever the hell he is, and now he's a woman, right? Or he's half a woman.
Bruce Jenner.
Bruce Jenner.
Yeah, you said Bruce Banner. I was like, what?
No, I didn't say Bruce Banner. I said Bruce Jenner.
Oh, okay. Maybe I heard Bruce Banner when you said Jenner. They're similar, so.
Poor
Yeah,
Daniel.
name.
I'm sorry, Daniel.
What do you think about cloning, Daniel?
Yeah, I think it's cool, but we're nowhere near perfecting that, you know.
Actually, we are near perfecting.
We'll probably have so many problems.
Actually.
Daniel's like, yeah, let's clone Megan Fox. Hell yeah.
No, I don't really care for Megan
And
Fox.
you wouldn't get Megan Fox because that clone would not have a job. No. They would not look the same.
Who would you clone, Daniel? What fine young lady in Hollywood would you clone?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
All right.
I know who I would clone, though. I'd probably, because I can't have her now because she's like taken, but I'd probably clone Jessica.
Oh, come on. With that again?
Jessica, who's that?
Still talking about her? Are you still talking about her?
I can't stop thinking about her.
Are you crazy?
Well, who's Jessica first? Who are we talking about? Apparently you know who we're
Oh,
talking about.
my God, dude.
Who's Jessica, Daniel?
She's married, man. She's gone. There are millions of women. Millions
Not
of women
like
out
her.
there.
Not like her.
What are you talking about?
How just happened?
What are you talking about?
Jessica.
Your problem is you don't go out and look.
Is this Jessica Tandy?
No, I do. They're not like that.
No,
not like that.
don't listen.
I don't know, Mike.
You need to take the net and throw it out and see what's going to get caught in the net.
Jessica,
You don't even have a net. You don't even have a net. You don't even have the courage to go out there because you're too busy with the Star Trek and all this other stuff that you make it go to your head.
No, it's
You have
not
like
that.
like a real Whovians intervention podcast going on.
This is an intervention because you know what? Dude, you were hung up on this girl for how many years, man, have we been talking about this girl? How many years?
I don't know. Since 2011.
Jesus. Jesus.
Well, I guess
This
since
one
no one,
girl.
I guess since no one will answer the question, am I supposed to like glean into this that this is like some former like friend of Daniel's or some girl he knows or something?
This event that happened, he has regret that he never made the moves on this girl. And he can't get past that decision. And he can't go and see anything else out there. He's waiting for this woman to get a divorce and then hook up with this person. It's never going to happen, dude.
Chloroform always works well.
No, dude, listen to me. Listen to me, man.
I made him laugh.
Young, you are young, okay? You have your whole future, all right? You're hung up on this one person. You are not even looking around to see if there's any other opportunities. There could be somebody that likes you, some girl likes you, and you are ignoring everything around you for this one person.
No, I still go out and look for girls. I'm just saying, there's none
It
like
doesn't
it.
matter that you go out and look. You're focused on, you put this woman on a pedestal, that every woman has to be like this woman. And you don't even know if there's anything better out there. There's so many things better. Dude, man, you really, you know, you have to get out of this friggin' rut. The hell with that one. Go out there, do different activities, do something, meet other people. You got to have some type of social interaction with people, dude. You can't be on the computer all the time.
No, I'm not on the computer all the time. I go out, but, you know, I just...
Dude, I'm not talking about going to the grocery store.
Hey, these chicks, everywhere I go, they're so freaking uninteresting. I don't even want to...
Dude, why don't you go to college?
Well, I'm looking.
Why don't you go to college and go to school and stay in a dorm and just meet people and get an education?
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
you need to meet different people your age, dude. You're 27 years old, right? Or 28 now.
I'm gonna be 28 in like.
You could have been on your master's. You could have gotten your master's degree or something, I guess, already.
Yeah.
You don't even have a bachelor's degree. You don't have anything, right?
No.
Dude, honestly, when you were talking to me about this, how old were you?
I think this was like 2011. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah, how old are you?
I'm not sure.
Well,
How old are you now?
if he's
20.
28, he would have been about 23, 24-ish.
Yeah, but dude, how many years, man? You can't see past this one woman.
Yeah, man, don't be fretting the hose.
Yeah.
Man, there's
Dude, I'm not telling you anything.
there are a dime a
so-
dozen out there, man.
Yeah.
Dude, you
Don't
gotta
think-
evolve, man. You gotta evolve.
Please.
You gotta, please, man, please. You
Yeah.
gotta evolve. You gotta get a. Dude, forget her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be like,
Why can't you forget her?
you know, Ted Bundy had a certain kind of girl he liked, but he went after different people. So it wasn't just like the same woman. He went after like different variants of that look that they all shared in common. But even somebody like fucking Ted Bundy, man. I mean, he had some versatility in his choices with going out after these women and stuff. And if somebody like that, you know, it's fucked up like that, can do that and formulate that in their head, you can do it, Daniel. You can go out there and you got to get this girl out of your head, man. She obviously wasn't worth your time if she's like ended up how she is with things, you know.
Yeah.
You can't beat yourself up. You know, every guy in the world has had like that story of that girl. You know, whether it's high school or whatever. I mean, you know, everyone's lived that story, but you know, it's like you put that shit behind you and you actually grow from it. You empower yourself with the fact of going. You know, and I'm forget this Oprah New Age Dr. Phil bullshit. I'm saying, I mean, you got to like use that to fuel your fortitude for going out there and saying, you know, screw this chick. I'm gonna go after a better one.
Testicular fortitude.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Go out there and
Foley said that, I think.
go out there and conquer those whores, Daniel.
Oh, stop. Yeah, you gotta like seriously, man. You gotta forget her.
Dude, there's girls at these conventions, man. They're into Star Trek. I mean, you guys could hit that off with. I mean, you're like, you know, big time Star Trek guy. I mean, you could be Mr. Charming with them, you know. But meet some girl like one of these convention type chicks, and you know, there's some little hottie, you know, Star Trek fans. Chris can tell you about that. Here's Chris. He can tell you about these girls that are into like Star Trek and stuff at these conventions, man. You got them there right for the pickings. Just like you need to put yourself in a marketable place. You know, you need to put yourself. It's kind of like you're not going to catch fish out of a puddle in a parking lot. You have to go to the lake to catch the fish. You know, so it's like go to the lake, Daniel. You know, throw that line in, and start reeling those whores
All right,
in.
man. Throw that net out, man. See what you catch.
Yeah, I'm at Vaughn's again. I just don't have a power connection, but luckily my battery's fully charged.
Yeah.
And,
I mean,
my battery should last about an hour.
Chris hooked up with a famous B-movie actress, Lilith Stabs, at a convention, and hooked up with her. I mean, she turned out to be kind of crazy, but I mean, at least she was fun for a little while, right, Chris?
Yeah, I could talk about that. You know,
Daniel, we were helping Daniel with a little bit of advice about because he's kind of been pining away over some girl that was kind of like the girl that got away type situation. So we're trying to give a little bro advice here, you know.
Oh, I don't know the full story, so.
Well, I just encapsulated it. That basically was it.
Oh, so this woman was similar to Lilith Stabs in personality, I take it.
Well, no. Don't read too much into it. I'm just saying, like Daniel, there was a girl that was that meant a lot to Daniel, and Daniel has idealized this girl as being kind of like the girl for him, and it sounds like he's he's carried like a lot of. I don't know what exactly happened, Daniel. I don't want to put words in your mouth and kind of formulate a story here that didn't happen, but it sounded like that you regretted not approaching this girl and starting stuff off with her. So that's kind of
she
where
was
we
really
were with it.
fun, really hip. She liked the same things that I liked. She was not too feminine. She was tomboy. She was perfect. Just the right. Just exactly what I like. And.
Did you ever talk to her?
I did. I talked to her.
Were you friends?
Yeah. We talked a little bit. Yeah.
Were you friends? Did you ever hang out with her? Or did you talk to her on the internet? Did you ever meet her?
Did you admire her from afar? Or
yeah, we talked. We talked.
Talked where? Talked where? On the internet? Daniel, does this person you meet in real life?
You can have an internet relationship. It is actually possible.
Yes, thank you. But Daniel, did you meet this person in real life?
No, I talked to her here and there, and I saw her a couple times. I talked to her.
Saw her where?
Just here and there, And
Daniel,
what?
Did you ever? Is this person real? Like, did this person?
She's real.
Okay, Daniel, did you ever go out on a date with this person? Did you go anywhere with this person in real life, or did you talk on this freaking webcam?
I talked to her on the phone.
Okay, but before, where did you meet her?
Man, I don't want to get into this, man. It sounds.
Listen. I don't even know we're recording. I'm gonna stop everything. But you know what? The hell with this. I'm just gonna stop this. Half this thing we're probably gonna have to edit anyway. But
oh no, this is great, man. Keep it going.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
No,
Come on.
Keep it going. We can switch stuff. We can switch to. I had some crazy relationships.
Wait, please. The main concern right now is
Daniel.
Focus on Daniel.
Okay.
Yeah. Daniel, I'm not trying to put pressure on you. I'm not trying to make you feel awkward.
And we have to tell Daniel. We're not goofing on you either, Daniel. I was laughing earlier at what Chris said because it was funny. I wasn't laughing.
I'm not goofing.
Daniel, I just want to know, this person, where did she live?
All right, look, I don't really want to get into this because I know it sounds really weird because, even my mom says like, Dan, you barely knew her, but she was. I kind of wish I did.
Where did she live?
Well, I don't want to say because she. I don't know. How do I know she's watching?
Daniel, was she in Canada or no?
No.
Okay, that's all I need to know. So you never met this person. You met this person on the computer. You got her phone number. You talked to her on the phone. But you never physically met her. You never went and got a coffee together. She wasn't anywhere near where you could go out and have a coffee.
No. I know. Just no.
So if you can't even go on a date with her.
I know, but I'm just saying. I wish I did. That's what sucks,
But okay.
And I go everywhere. And I talk to chicks, and none of them are like that. They all suck. They all suck really hard.
All right. So this was never going to happen with this girl.
I know.
Even if she didn't get married, this wasn't real, Daniel.
I know.
You didn't know this person in real life. You didn't interact with this person. There was no chance. Are you rich where you could go travel around the world and meet this person?
Well, I was planning to. No, I was planning to.
You were?
To, go over there and, meet him.
Meet them?
Meet her.
Okay. Do you still talk to her?
What?
You still talk to her?
No.
Okay.
Look, I know, man. I know.
Why did that stop?
But it just bugs me, you know. This whole damn thing.
Right. I'm sorry, dude. I really am. I mean, I wish you could, get your heart's desire and be happy. You know, life is just hard sometimes. You gotta keep trying, man. You can't be hung up on it. You know.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you what to do, dude, but you're aging. Every year that you're hung up on her, you're getting older.
I know.
Until you're going to be pooping in your own diaper again, at like age 80. You know what I'm saying? You're aging, dude. Okay? Before you get too old, go out there and have fun. Take back your command. Take it back before you really truly grow old. Just like Bones told Captain Kirk, go take back your command.
Yeah.
Man, that's all I'm saying.
Well, I didn't get my first girlfriend until I was 29.
Okay. Now we went from cloning to relationships.
Well, they've got some commonality.
That's just this one crazy everything show, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Hello, Connor.
Hello.
Hey.
And when we come back from the break, we're going to have Jessica here.
Oh, please. No.
Oh, God.
Are you gonna edit this? Because I don't know.
I will not. I will
Don't
not
think I'm some
have.
kind of a psycho guy.
I will not air this at all.
No, we got to air this. This is
No,
good.
I can't.
This is
Oh,
fun.
come on.
This
Why?
is like a train wreck, man.
No,
I
it's
can't.
not. Come
I
on.
can't.
Nah.
This is like cutting loose, man.
No,
This is a
man.
good cast.
Oh,
You don't have one hair on your balls if you don't air this shit. Come on.
I have plenty. Welcome to the jungle.
Welcome to the jungle. That's Chris's day. Stepping off the bus in L.A. Fucking
Exactly.
hard silly. It's gonna bring you down.
Embrace the chaos. Chaos is everywhere.
He's like a steampunk Slash. It just now occurred to me. You're like Slash.
Actually,
Fucking
that's
steampunk.
another whole story. There's a guy
Oh my God, dude.
on the metro train that thought I was Flash. I get mistaken for celebrities all the time.
They thought you were Slash. They thought you were Johnny Depp the other day, right?
No, that was like a few weeks ago. I mean,
Daniel,
I can't even finish one story. So,
well, Daniel, I gotta tell you something, Daniel. In all seriousness, this guy right here, I've seen this guy pull down some pretty quality pussy wearing just that fucking hat and goggles. I've been actually out to dinner with this guy, and there was an attractive waitress that this guy ended up hooking up with because of that fucking hat when we went out one night. That guy gets more pussy off that fucking goofy hat and shit. He's got a thing going.
Shit. All right.
The hat gets him wet. Oh no! Don't you fucking bail yet? No! We got more legs in this podcast. Come on, man. You're having fun. Come on, man.
Oh, yeah.
And John's got like a fucking cowlick going on. What's going on with your hair, man? It's like
I'm like David Lynch, man. My hair just goes off. You know?
Oh, it's like a racer head for a second. There's like one.
I know. My hair just like does that. You know?
Oh, shit.
Well, the Spectre poster we got today to change topic was quite awesome. I guess since this is an everything show, we need to talk about something on topic. But yeah, the Spectre poster was great. Connor sent a link to that for me today, and I appreciate that. And it's really cool because Daniel Craig's Bond is actually dressed in the very, very strikingly similar attire to Roger Moore in Live and Let Die, with the black sort of top with the gun strap holster he's got on and stuff. So it's actually quite a cool looking poster.
Yeah.
No, just leave it out. I'll cover it.
All right.
So, yeah.
You gotta think like Bond, Daniel. You know, you gotta be, confident. Go out there and a lot of guys like they have this mentality where it's like they're working for the girl's attention, and you got to be the opposite. You got to be like, cool and confident, and not really give the attention there, and you become automatically like, more mysterious and kind of stand out for the rest of the guys. So
Yeah.
you got to get some do some read online about some stuff about kind of like, and I'm being serious. I'm not kidding around. I mean, like, do a little bit of like, go on YouTube and watch some videos from some of these guys that talk about like up in your game, so to speak, as a guy. And it's not about teaching guys to be players or jerks or whatever. It's got to do with the fact of like of showing guys, because a lot of guys, they get very intimidated by there's a pretty girl when you're out at a bar or restaurant or something, you're interested in her, or even in your social settings, and we're all guys. We all know that there's times when you get like a little bit, the butterflies in your stomach, where you're a little bit scared about approaching that girl and stuff like that. You need to just kind of like cut right through that and just fucking go for it, man.
Yeah.
Well, dude, you should join like a dating site or create a profile or something.
Yeah, I mean, I got to tell you, like when I first
We'll help you with it.
When I first moved to the Gulf Coast, I got on Match.com, and it was like 2 or 3 girls a week. It's like fast food. It's like ordering a pizza.
Why don't you do that, dude?
I use Tinder. Tinder is really fun. It's like speed dating. It's like a video game speed dating.
Like you just say.
And Daniel, you work, right?
Yeah. I work at Glad. Yeah.
You have a job. You make money, right?
Yeah.
So you could take the girl out and stuff, right?
And with Daniel, I think it's more about like he's fishing in a puddle in a parking lot rather than going to the pond, to use that analogy. And like Daniel, if you go on like say Match.com, you can actually specify what your interests are, and the girls will read that, the women, and they will see like, oh, this guy's got similar interests that I do. He likes Star Trek, he likes science.
Or plenty of fish or something like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're free.
Can I make one point about something that was said earlier?
No, we're talking about Daniel now, though.
Okay.
Totally off topic, yeah. I mean, what did you want to talk about, cloning?
No, it wasn't cloning. It was about relationships.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
When I talked about earlier, I wasn't talking about the cloning. I was talking about the relationship.
Okay, go ahead. Yes.
Oh, okay. It is possible to have a relationship online. One of my ex-girlfriends, we dated for a year. She lived in Australia. I lived in LA. We never met. It was a Skype relationship and a lot of cyber sex.
Okay. Hi, Brian. Anyway.
Well, no, I'm just saying,
on that note,
that's how we interact. And we wrote letters to each other. It was more than just that. We wrote letters to each other, and she would get on Skype and show me the letter that I had mailed her. So you can have an interactive relationship online. It's hard. It's not easy.
Daniel, you gotta go and you gotta,
Sorry, I didn't know why that's such a touchy stuff.
You gotta.
I was just saying that.
Daniel, you gotta put yourself.
Enough said.
You gotta do. You gotta sign yourself up in maybe one of these dating sites, and maybe see who you meet or whatever.
Yeah.
That's it. All right. On that note, take care. Bye for now.